Here is a question worth sitting with on Saturday, the 1st of August, 2026. If a scam message no longer has bad spelling, no longer arrives at 3 in the morning, and no longer sounds foreign on the phone, how exactly are you supposed to spot it? That is effectively the warning coming out of the Solana Foundation today. CoinDesk has published comments from the Foundation's newly appointed Chief Information Security Officer, who says artificial intelligence is making crypto scams significantly more convincing. The important detail is that this is not the announcement of some exotic new attack. It is the admission that the standard advice, look for the typos, look for the odd grammar, listen for the accent that does not fit, has quietly stopped working. Solana is a logical place for that warning to originate. It is one of the highest throughput public blockchains in use, it carries an enormous amount of retail trading activity, and transactions settle in well under a second, which leaves almost no window in which to change your mind. Step back from the headline for a moment, because the appointment itself carries information. The Solana Foundation is a non-profit that supports the network's development and ecosystem growth. It does not run the blockchain, and it cannot reverse a transaction any more than you can. So a foundation of that type creating a dedicated Chief Information Security Officer role, and then putting that person in front of the press to talk about scams rather than protocol vulnerabilities, tells you where the losses are actually happening. The cryptography underneath Solana is not what is failing. People are. Public blockchains have spent years hardening their consensus layers, their validator clients and their bridges, and the attackers have simply moved to the softest target available, which is the human being holding the private key. When a security lead's first public message is about persuasion rather than code, that is a deliberate signal about where the risk now sits. 3 specific capabilities have shifted the ground. First, voice cloning. A usable synthetic version of somebody's voice can now be produced from a very short sample, and that sample is often sitting in a public video or a voice note. Second, live video manipulation. In February 2024, the engineering firm Arup confirmed that a finance employee in its Hong Kong office was tricked into transferring roughly $25 million after joining a video call in which every other participant, including a senior executive, was a deepfake. Third, translation and tone. The single most reliable fraud indicator for decades was awkward English written by someone working from a script in another country. That indicator has been erased. Blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis has documented vendors on illicit marketplaces openly selling AI-generated media services to scam operations, which means this is not a theoretical capability. It is a purchasable product with a price list. Here's what these tools are being pointed at right now. Wallet drainers are the workhorse. A convincing website, often promoting an airdrop, a mint or a token migration, asks you to connect your wallet and sign what looks like a routine approval. That signature can hand over spending permission for your assets, and the drain is instant. Fake support is the second pillar. You post a problem publicly, and within minutes an account with the right logo, the right tone and now a matching synthetic voice offers to help, then asks you to validate your wallet. Address poisoning is quieter. Attackers send you dust from an address whose first and last characters match one you have used, hoping you copy the wrong one from your transaction history. And at the top end, social engineering scales frighteningly well. The Bybit exploit of February 2025, which cost roughly $1.5 billion, remains the clearest evidence that persuasion, not code breaking, is the dominant attack path. The financial damage is measurable and it is not small. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center recorded more than $9.3 billion in crypto-related fraud losses reported by U.S. victims across 2024, and roughly $2.8 billion of that came from people aged 60 and over. Those are reported losses only, from one country, and fraud reporting rates are notoriously poor because victims are embarrassed. The real figure is higher. There is also a second cost that does not appear in any statistics. Every genuine project now struggles to communicate, because users have correctly learned to distrust unsolicited contact. Legitimate airdrops get ignored. Real support agents get blocked. Honest developers spend their time fighting impersonators instead of building, That erosion of baseline trust is a tax on the entire sector, and it is being paid daily by people who have never been defrauded at all. This is not a distant American problem. Research published by the Financial Conduct Authority found that around 12% of UK adults, close to 7 million people, hold some form of cryptoasset. That is a very large pool of potential targets, and the protection sitting behind it is thin. Cryptoassets are not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, so if your wallet is drained there is no £85,000 backstop and generally no route to recovery. The FCA's own consumer messaging on crypto is blunt about the possibility of losing everything you put in. If you are hit, the correct step is to report it to Action Fraud, the UK's National Reporting Centre for Fraud and Cybercrime, and to notify your bank immediately if fiat left a bank account. Report it even if you expect nothing back, because the data is what drives enforcement priorities. Expect the defensive response to move away from detection and towards verification. Trying to spot a fake by looking at it is a losing strategy once the fakes are generated by the same class of model doing the detecting. What works instead is confirming identity through a separate channel you already trust, a known phone number, an in-person conversation, a pre-agreed code word within a family or a treasury team. On the technical side, watch for wider adoption of clear signing on hardware wallets, where the device shows you in plain language exactly what a transaction does rather than an unreadable string. Transaction simulation inside browser wallets, which previews what you are about to lose, is becoming standard rather than optional. And regulators are increasingly focused on the payment rails and the advertising surfaces rather than the blockchains themselves, because that is where interventions actually bite. So here is the takeaway from today's warning by the Solana Foundation's security chief. Artificial intelligence has not broken the cryptography protecting your assets. It has broken your ability to tell a real person from a fake one, and that is arguably worse, because it means every warning sign you were taught to look for has expired. Build your defense on things a model cannot fake. Nobody legitimate will ever ask for your seed phrase, and no exception to that rule exists. Urgency is the attack, so any pressure to act within minutes is itself the red flag. Go and review the token approvals sitting on your wallet today and revoke the ones you no longer recognize, because old permissions are how yesterday's connection becomes tomorrow's loss. And verify through a channel the caller did not choose. If you found this useful, subscribe for clear, evidence-based crypto security analysis.